Friends, hello. Second stream in one day. This is weird. This is weird. I don't hate it, but it's odd. um, I'm glad that you're kind of catching up on things, Allie, and I hope that like this weekend can be very productive for you. Noon stream went really well. Really well. Not too terribly many people showed up, which is fine. It was vaguely last minute. But we got through a game. That was cool. And I like got a bunch of stuff done this morning, like before stream happened. And got a lot done after stream happened as well. I think I might implement it more, if for no other reason than it keeps me on an actual productive schedule. Shocking. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll probably do it this coming Monday just to try it again. But I appreciated it. It was nice. So yeah. It's just definitely like prepped me for this particular time a little oddly, because I'm like, well, I've already streamed, so like my day's done. And then I looked at the time and was like, oh, it's like only 3 o'clock, and now here we are, 6 at night, and I'm like, let's do this again. It's time to do some Dropsy. And I'm stoked about that. Also super excited because I have everything that I need for our cosplay stream on Friday. I'm gonna dye my hair either tonight after a stream or tomorrow. We'll see. And yeah, I did some like makeup and hair tests last night, and it was very good. So yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. I'm ready to hug everything. It's gonna be great. You gotta hug everything. We're doing clown hugs over here, like you do. Sometimes you just gotta hug a clown. Sometimes you just gotta let a clown hug. Yeah, I think the last time we did red, for sure the last time I did red was October. But I think I've done it since then too. I don't know. Time means nothing during all of this. Everything that's happened. I don't know what time is anymore. I think I did it. I want to say I was red in April. Yikes. I don't know. Hold on. I gotta check this now. Quick, where are all of my videos? Because I just uploaded some of the corpse party videos, which was October, I guess, and my hair was red there. What else did we do recently? What other ones was I looking at? Oh no! Yeah, I don't know. Time is an illusion. Yeah, who knows when I did red last. It couldn't have been that long, but it's been long enough. So I guess let's go ahead and tell that to get out of here. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to run the game and change the things. There we go! There's Dropsy. How does everything sound? Is it fine? I feel like the game is really loud, but that could just be my headphones. I always assume if anything's too loud for me, it's a little louder than me. Okay, how about there? Is that good? Is that better? How are we in relation to each other? Much better. Okay, cool. I'm gonna turn it down just a smidge because I think there's a couple of other scenes that are a little louder than this one. But it's fine. It's fine. We just had a funeral, didn't we? We just had a bird funeral, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Oof. Oh, and now it's nighttime. Suddenly night. Daddy's sick. We've been employed by the company that's around here to do things. And they're helping our daddy. Was it bird dad? I thought it was bird baby. I thought it was bird child. Chirpy music. I thought this was bird mom. My assumption that this, well, it was bird parent at least. Who we had was bird parent. We were looking for their child. I don't know. The bird relations, not my strong suit. Don't you mention wires around me. Good times. What are you doing, doggo? But yeah, bird relation died. Dad isn't doing too great. And we're partially employed. Got this bird and tree chicken confused. Oh no. Also, what happened to our dog? Why is our dog falling? Where is our dog going? This is just an emotional roller coaster that I'm not ready for in the slightest. Where the fuck is our dog? Excuse me. Excuse me. You what? You what now? I have added sound effects. They are a part of the stream, so if you hover over or click on the stream screen, you can use the sound lab or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know what's happening ever. Hold on. Here it is. Sound alerts, that's what I'm looking for. Thank you! Oh, there's a... Okay. There is a cooldown of 15 seconds. But that's fine. Let me get this in here. There you go. Because we needed you know, we needed a for that chirping in comment. It's the best I could do for the time being. Oh, what did you spot? Alright, alright. I mean, that's been there for a while. I'm shocked you're only just noticing it. Do you have a preference for which terrible voice mod you want? Or do you want me to just choose one at random? Dealer's choice? Ah, shit. Alright. Let's randomize this then. That one, I don't know what that one does, so we'll stick with this one. Now the trick is getting this to work so that... Is it working? Is it playing as it should, or is it just my normal voice? I can never tell! Are we silly voicing? Normal voice? Damn. Okay, hold on a second. Let me change the output then.
How about that? Is that better? Oh, that looks like it's very loud. I'm gonna turn that down a smidge. It's called Dark Angel. I don't know what it sounds like, so it's just y'all. Y'all get to hear this. Oh, I was gonna set a timer. Go back to me. Perfect. Fantastic. I see no problems here. Hey, phone, stop freezing on me. I need that 5-minute timer. It started. Clown mode activate. Let me get that on over there. Okay. How miserable is it? Can you... Isn't that just me normally? Can you, like, understand me? That's my only concern with some of these voice mods. Is that they make it difficult to understand. But you know, it is what it is. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, good. Cause yeah, I've played around with voice mod a little bit, but there have definitely been some times that, like, weren't great. Valid point. Okay, what are we trying to do? Our dog fell down in here, right? Why can't our bird fall down in here? Why don't they like me?
Fuck your chicken strips!
That was genuinely terrifying! That's a good one, though. I can have up to 30 options for our sound redemptions. So if people have requests for certain sound bites or anything, let me know. I mean, I was definitely trying to find mines. They're labeled so weird, though. But, we'll do what we can. I really wanted the, we're all children of God here. But specifically the, like, Kumbaya portion. Couldn't find it, though. Which was unfortunate. Okay, what the hell are we doing? I can't see any of these. I know that you're sad that the dog fell down. But you're happy that the dog went in the cart? And then robot numbers. Binary. That's the word. That's the word I'm looking for. What the heck am I supposed to do? What do we got in our pants? Michael with a B! Oh, how could I forget? Hold on, I'm writing this down so I can remember. Or I could get Joe Bluth saying bees? Or both. I could do both, realistically. Okay, ding dog's gone. Ding old dog is gone. I don't like that. Hi, Lamia. Ding old dog got. Can we... I don't know what they want from me at the moment, aside from getting my dog. So... can we go visit Vampire Lady? Because we got that hammer, right? Ma'am, I can't possibly be a vampire. Yeah, see, I'm not a vampire. Thanks. Hugs! I got the achievement Daywalker. Holy shit. Aw, jeez. Who are you? Who are any of you? Got nothing to say to me. Oh! I bet I could send you to the record shop. Do you want me to get the tape? Can I give this to you? A lot of the sounds I make with voice mod on is a choice at the very least. So just forever go, oh, with the voice mod on, right? That's what I'm hearing. Oh. Guess what? Guess what?
Time to go back to my normal voice.
We're fine now. 5 minutes is up. Good redeem.
We love that for us. There will be more where that came from. Do not worry. I get that you don't like vampires, lady. I have no idea what that first picture is supposed to be. Alright, cool. Cool. Perfect. Fantastic. Here I was thinking this whole Thor versus vampire thing was supposed to be like a joke or like a movie that they were all super into. Apparently it's like an actual religious denomination in this world. Speaking of choices. Can I hug the statue? What else can I hug? I feel like I need to go back and start hugging everything. Like, literally everything. Hug it. When in doubt, hug! I can hug the fridge? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and, like, hug everything. We're gonna have to fix this. We gotta hug everything. Oh, that's a mouse hole. I'm certain. What is this? Oh! That's part of the statue, isn't it? Okay, alright. Hold on, can bird friend go in here? No. Oh, I can also get that coin from wherever, the park now, right? Because we got Bird Buddy. I mean, is it not already? Is that a hole? No, that's just a texture on the ground. Alright, bud. Oh, did we just go in a circle? I guess we did. So then, where else can I go? I'm just trying, I'm like racking my brain over how to... You need money. So I should go get the money from the park and bring it to you? Right? Also, how do I tell the lady over there, band lady, that I got a place that she can hang out at? Is this the park? Oh, this is not the park. I gotta remember that I parked my car here, though. Because I don't think it teleports. Unless it do. I still gotta figure out how to make that lady happy as well. Bird friend! Go get that coin. Look at you go! Also, since we're here, let's go home. Let's go hug that fridge. since we can. What else is there that can be hugged? Can I hug the porta potty? I mean, it's a hug venture. We gotta hug everything, right? Oh, I can also put the statue away now. Since we're here, you know. Yay! In we go! Yes! I need to see what the fridge looks like. Do we not have a picture of it? What's this? It's the squirrel! I do love this. So happy. Can I hug the nurse? Yo, can I hug you? Everything is perfect. It's all fantastic. There is nothing wrong with the world. As Dropsy, we will single-handedly resolve every issue ever that ever existed. Oh my god. Also... Oh, cool, it does mark my car on the map. That's useful. We appreciate that. How the heck am I supposed to get my dang dog back? Because he got, like, shipped off, right? Everyone needs to stop being sad. I need to make it better for everyone. Oh, goodness. Can I give you the coin? I'm pretty sure I have to give it to the other dude. Oh no? Oh no, what? Don't oh no. Why are we oh knowing? This man is over my existence. No, 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 no. I wanted to get in my car. He'll make dogs strong. / dead. Please no. Please no. No, no, no. That's not acceptable. Is that what happened? I thought the dog just fell. Please don't let my dog be dead. I need that dog. He doesn't want the money. Do you want the money? No. What do you want, sir? Can you give me more of a hint than cash? Would you like my tapes? No, he does not want my tapes. Would you like me to scare you? Can I scare this lady? Or do I have to present the hammer to her? Oh, wait, her book is missing pages. That's what that meant. Look, I have pages. I have pages, ma'am, of your magic book. Can I hug you now? No, she's too upset. Dropsy, where are you going, buddy? Can I give you my hammer? No, she just wants all the pages. How many were there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's garlic up here, though. Oh, I can't take that until I've given her all pages. So I need 4 more? Right? Oof. But where? Take it. Alright, little buddies, let's go! Oh. And I don't have anything that can act as a paddle, do I? Dang. Oh. What do we do? I guess we could check out... Gotta figure out how to get my dang dog. That's what we gotta do. This is the most pressing thing at the moment. But I have no idea how to get my dang dog. Can I hug this? I'm also gonna hug Butt Crack Man over here. That's mildly horrifying. Dropsy, don't do that. My pool noodle arms aren't that strong. We wish they were. Can my mouse go up there? I just want to look at what they've got to say. Just a bit more, please. Yeah, they don't like that the dog fell, but they like that it landed in a thing. Do they want crackers? What does the dude in the tent have to say? Sir, do you have any hints for me? What do you got to say? Where is my dog? Where indeed? Oh no. Alright, well... Can we... Wait, what's here? I couldn't go here, but... No, I could. That's how we got in. Okay, never mind. Got all excited over nothing. Ugh. Okay, but there's like an outlet here. Can I stick this in the outlet? No. No, I cannot. That's not what I wanted to do. Can I put the mouse in there? No. No, no, I cannot. Apparently mice don't belong in there. I can't get up the stairs because they're blocked. I can't go that direction. I can't talk to him. Can I break the glass? Oh no. I don't feel like I can solve this just yet, but I'm probably just missing something. Because he's always there, right? Even at nighttime? What's here? What's at the airport? I have no idea. Wait, no, that symbol is this? Does it have a... It's missing a tire. Okay. Oh, does the chicken have the tire? The chicken's got the tire, doesn't he? So how do I get the tire from the chicken? Where is the chicken keeping the tire? Oh, goodness. Ha! I see! Let me up! I need your dang tire! Thank you. Thank you. Brilliant. Okay, take this off. Yep, put me back down. Okay, this doesn't really, like, resolve a ton, but we've at least made some progress towards something, possibly. I do remember seeing and hearing that this game can be like a little obtuse at points. So far it hasn't been too terrible. I mean, the only issue we really had was with the chicken man at first, right? But that's just because we kept having to spam hugs. Hey, I fixed it. Hey, I fixed it. Yeah! Yeah! Give me a hug. Can I take it? No. She is happy that I fixed it, though. No, stop. Dropsy, get in the car. Yeah, I don't think I can... Well, I can get in there, but I can't get into the bunker just yet, right? Because I'm still missing a lever? I need to catch this man. This person. An alien. So that his little rings light back up. Well, dang. No, I probably should have gone and checked the bunker out real quick. No. Well, now I can confirm whether or not Guy is still here, which he is. Well, it is the morning. Is he waving or pointing? Can I put this in there? have so many tapes. I guess at this point, does anyone have any ideas? That's my ID. That's the lever. I guess I haven't... No, I know where the garlic is, but I need to find all of the pages for the book that they have, before I can take the garlic. I got 2, so I think I'm missing 4 in total. So as soon as we can get that, then we can take the garlic to the soup guy. It's here. Oh! Lady's here! Hold on. Something's changed. Things have changed. Can I get into the airport now? No, she's only here at a specific time. Maybe. I think she's only here at a specific time. Okay, well, I'm gonna... Is that what the bunker is? In actuality, is a mine? Because if so, yes. I just need time to progress a little bit so that she can go away. Yeah, I know I got the one there, and I think... I have no idea where I got the other one, honestly. Time is so slow. Again, we're just gonna go back and forth. I guess, do I have to do the garlic in order to get the dog back? I didn't lose our dog! Dog ran away! Oh, okay. Yeah, it's an outstanding quest, but, okay, at this point, like, I'm most concerned about getting our dog back. While simultaneously looking for... Okay, so she's just here always. I didn't lose the dang dog! I kinda know where the dog is, I just have to go get the dog. Okay, but you're here now. How are you getting between the two places so fast, lady? So yeah, I don't know that we've come across all of the pages just yet. Maybe identical twins. Soup is critical. Okay, that means, like, I mean, we'll come across the pages eventually. I have to put the... I've tried this. And it wouldn't work. Can you look at those? I just need you to look at them, bud. You know, I guess that is a mine. That is what a pickaxe would mean. But yeah, I can't progress on the soup just yet because I need all of the pages, but I'm pretty sure we haven't come across them just yet. Like, I'm pretty sure we can't get all of them just yet, actually. So until then... I've got this extra quarter. I haven't been to the music shop in a while, and I think... It's closed. It's closed right now. Okay. I need to get Band Lady there. I need my dang dog. Oh. Ma'am, what do you need? Oh, I can send my bird up there to get this. Now we got another tape. She's saying it's too hot and she needs a smoke? Bigger smoke. Do you want that? Do you want the weird radioactive cake? No. No, she does not. Can I get into the hospital now? Or do I still need, like, a prescription? Might need a prescription. Yeah, our weird radioactive cake. It doesn't look like any of the other cakes. We did. We got it from a dump. I guess it could technically be rotten. Actually, can I just go in now? No. And that was a rat of unusual size. He, I think that it's a it's a dump cake. Now, see here. I just want my dang dog. Can I just fast travel anytime? Are you shitting me? I can just fast travel anytime. Here I was thinking I had to go back to my car. I don't think there's... I mean, if somebody just came up to me and was like, do you want a radioactive cake? I'd probably be like, yeah, sure. I'll take it. Would it be better if I had the voice mod on? Would that sell it to you? Who is thinking these things? Okay, well there you go. Then I don't really need to change my sales pitch, do I? I just need to change my voice. Okay, hold on. Let's try this place again, now that it's nighttime and they're open. Can I... Oh, if I give you the thing, will you give me your cigarette? I get that you don't like me, man. Hold on a second. Stop. Eject. This one's got stuff on it. Why can't I do anything? Oh. Yeah? Do you like it? Oh, it's the band's tape. Okay, I see, I see. Yes, he likes it! Like his little dance move. Yeah, they're great, aren't they? You should bring them here. I can do that. Yes. I will give this card to these dope folks. And then they'll give me my dog back, right? Was it here? Is this where they're located? Is this where our music friend is? Not quite. Yes, it is, actually. I lied. They're here. Well, they're not here now. Oh, no. Time for a sleep, I guess. Let's make it be daytime. Oh, I have no idea what's for dinner, but I can smell it, and it smells very good. Ooh. Food. Ma'am. Ma'am. Have I got an offer for you? Check it out. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's gonna be great. Here for it! Oh, are you happy now? Absolutely, I'll... Oh, you want her autograph? Here I was being like, oh my god, you're gonna be like super gay together and it'll be perfect. Are we cool now, sir? Cool, can I come behind the counter and give you a hug? Is this acceptable? Let me give you a hug. Yes. Okay. Then will they... Can I give my money to this gentleman? Here you go, kindly person. No money for you? Okay. Well, never mind. I guess my big question is she gonna be here during the day or is she gonna be back at the desert near that chapel? Let's make it be early morning. I want my dog back. I'm in the newspaper. I guess she wouldn't be here, would she? Okay, then we'll head over here. And then we'll go get her autograph. And then we'll give it to the other lady. You make it sound like I intentionally threw the dog away. And I take issue with that. I would never intentionally throw the dog away. Ma'am. Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Thanks. Hug time. Hug time. Can I hug your car? Oh, handshakes. Hug time. Okay, let's go back here. And then we can give Lady Cakes a signature, the autograph, and be like, look at this cool human. We got this cool human's name on a card. I hope you like it. There you go. Yeah. anything for my friends. Okay. She's still bored and hot, right? I don't have anything that I can fix that with. Is there anything else going on in the club? No, it's closed. It's closed right now. Well, what's this? Right, I keep forgetting that this is the thing. You want your rings to start glowing again, right? Yeah. How do I catch... How do I catch this thing? Oh, dude's gone. Alien person. Not supposed to touch the plants, which makes me want to touch the plants. Hug. Hug the plant. Beautiful. Perfect. Top tier. Okay, what do we got in here? Can I get bird to go up in here? No. I mean... Can do. Okay, well, our alien friend is in here, right? So... Oops. What do we do? Yeah? Okay. I don't know what to do. Like, he's in here. He's right here. And I can't do anything with this because I go to, like, look at it, and Dropsy just shrugs at it. And the animals just look at it. That looks like a hole for a mouse. It is not. But can I hug it? I cannot. I can hug the pillar, though. Oh my goodness. Ah, dang. She's got lots of tapes. Can I flash that man my ID badge? I'm like running out of ideas for things to do. Can I give it to him? Can I give you the radioactive cake? No. This screen in particular really annoys me because that robot's so high up there. I wish we could get another Pants Tomato. I miss Pants Tomato. All the book pages are near in the mine? Okay. Allie's not giving up on this soup. The trouble with the mine is that I can't get into it. Soup is important for the dog. Okay. Okay, okay. Alright. We'll fixate on the soup then. Okay, so I'm supposed to, like... So this sign, I'm supposed to put this thing in the thing, right? Well, I got it here. Dropsy won't do a thing with it. Speak friend and enter. If only it were so easy. And that's not a thing that I can enter in. What is this? Hold on a second. What is... No, that's where I got the hammer from. That's a frigging arm! Can I use the arm? No. What would I need a hand for? Is that a dog barking I hear? You did it good. Okay, then look at it. Dropsy, don't just shrug at me, buddy. I need you to do a thing. What the heck? Yeah, I got that page. I did get that page. And then I think there was one under here as well. So those are the two that I got. It's just figuring out how to get into the freaking mine. It wants me to put the lever in there. Yeah, it was under, the second one was under a patch of dirt. Can I use the arm in here? In the cave. Can I use the arm in the cave? To, like, reach up into that hole? I only got the one lever. I got a lever and an arm. Where? Hold on. Where's that cave? There it is. Let me into the cave real quick. High to reach places need extra arms. I did not. I didn't real. Is that the dude like not outside the music shop, but in that general area? I didn't realize I was supposed to. All right, I can do that. I can do that. Just as soon as I try this. No, that did nothing. All right, cool, 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 cool. I can imagine. From my understanding, you can do this game like pretty out of order for the most part, and so trying to find like the specific place that we're in is neat. Not to mention, I can only like imagine the descriptions are like ridiculous as well. All right, hold on. We'll go visit the guy. Cause like, I think that's my only other, like my minor complaint is that sometimes like the pictures that they offer and what they want are different. So like, I mean, he's got like an image of a bunker and then like an X through like the corporation symbol. How am I supposed to know that I need, well, I guess there's a lever there now that I look, but it looks like the table. That looks like part of the table. All right, well, we got our second lever. Fantastic. Weird. Absolutely wild. That was kind of obnoxious. The other ones haven't been, like, too terrible, though. And it's nice because there's, like, so many other things that you can do that... Yeah, I'm definitely hearing a dog barking. Okay, then this one? No. Wait. Alright, I can do that. Oh my god, get me out of this area. And I think from there we can figure it out, maybe, probably. That's, Sir. Are you getting all teary-eyed? Is that your dad? We gotta go to the... Yeah. I know where the boat is. Okay, I think we should be good from there to figure things out, because he wants me to go to the church? And there's a boat near there, but I gotta... go show the picture to the lady, I think. And then maybe she'll give us a lever. Who is this? What is this lump on the ground? Ma'am. I was told to come here. Yes! Thank you for the help, Allie. I appreciate it. He's scared of vampires? Is that him? Or did you... Or are we just pointing out here? Okay, do you wanna... picture me that again? Maybe? Can I scare her? Alright, let me show you this picture again, and then we can try and take in everything that you're emoting. He was confused and got scared by a Dracula, and then he went in the boat. Or he went to an island. Okay. So then... I need a sail. Can I use the Dracula? No. I feel like I need that robe that's inside. This is what my brain is telling me. But I can't pick up the robe. Like, I want this. Mouse? No? Would anyone like my arm? Can I use the arm to paddle? It's not particularly conducive to, like, literally anything, but, you know. I'm sorry, I did it so bad. You're right, I do need to ask if they need a hand. Oh, opportunity missed. I'm ashamed of myself. Can I ever be forgiven? I've done it so bad. Here, I'll redeem myself. Do you need a hand? Oh no. Where am I going? Someone's torn out of that picture, right? Gray shirt. I'm so glad fast travel's a thing. You got any more to say? No, nope, nothing new. I know you're all teary-eyed because it's your father, but like... Yeah, no, I know. I do understand. I understand that much, game. I get it. He's out on an island. I need, like, a sail or some gas? I need to fix the boat. That's what we gotta do. We gotta fix the boat. But to fix the boat... What else is down here? Hello. A VHS. Oh my god, what? A VHS, a game cartridge, a purple thing, a ring, and some pearls? This one? Okay, why are you sad, sir? Would you like this coin? Do you need a hand? Right, that's far too many things. And I don't know that he actually wants any of them. You know? What the hell is that noise? He's sad. And then he gives an image of children with flowers and not having food. Is he hungry and missing his children? I mean, if we could get his eye patch, that'd be pretty dope. That's not the button I wanted. I got some radioactive cake. He's not impressed. Okay. I don't know that I can do anything for him right now. Maybe he does want to eat the children. Hold on. I want to hear what this tape does. What are these other tapes? I must know. We've heard that one before. What's this one? Okay. What is this one? Terrifying is what it is. We already listened to that one. And we know what that one is. I guess let's just put the scary one in and play that here now. Is there anything new in here? Oh, she's not here. I can take the garlic. We can make the soup. Progress. I don't know what you're talking about. This sounds like a banger to me. Spooky music. Sir, I have garlic. Yeah. It's gonna be great. Make that soup taste good. Alright, what's wrong with it now? I feel like this man's never gonna be satisfied no matter what we do. Yeah, I understood that he didn't like it. What does he need now? Bone? Well, aren't you in luck? You need a hand with that soup? No, sir, you're supposed to stir it with the hands. Oh, dang. Is it better? Mmm. Bone soup. Yeah, I know he likes it. I don't want to come back in. Whoa, whoa, what's happening? I got the achievement Clown About Town. What does that one do? Hold on. I need to see. I made a lot of new friends! Okay, but I need to hug you. Oh, okay. Our dance is our hug. I understand. I guess I get it now. Hey. I'm pretty aight, aren't I? Hugs! Okay. So we have done that. Rat's still under there. Cool, cool, cool. What's over here? Right. Wait, I'm sorry. What is this painting? Dog? I can't do anything more. Can we... I can't sleep here. That's a problem. Okay. I've done that though. Like I had previously done that. Can't take any more. Okay, I was kind of hoping that I could, like, pick up the tub and release the rat. But that is not the case. Okay, so we've satisfied this man. What's this? Rat! Another cassette! And soup recipe. That would have been useful a while ago. Okay, is that it? Is that all that's over here? Because that's not nearly as important as I thought it would be. That's fair. I mean, like, I assume... That was scary. I assume the machine that, like, that's there is important. You know? I want to know who this is. Give me your robe. How long are you here? time is it now? Let's go to the day. Okay, you're still here. Can we do evening? Still here. Night? And morning. Now they're gone. Okay, so it's just the early morning that they're gone. Bird lives on the boat now. I guess we could probably see what this new tape does. I think these are just collectibles, honestly. Always with the bee horror. Too many bees. Okay, open. Try this one. You'll repair it for me? Perfect! Problem solved. We got this. And now we're best friends. I got the achievement Huggalo. Yo. Oh, yes. They went there. Also, look at my little rats. Precious. No bats. No bats allowed. Well, that's a statue. Let's give it a hug. Oh, goodness. Okay. Emmy. Always showing up at the weird times. Is the door locked? It's not. I need your record, sir. You knew it was there and you're like, now's the perfect time for me to come in. Get the record. Get it, bird. Alright, sir, listen. I'm gonna hug your fridge and then we're gonna talk. Never mind, I'm not gonna hug your fridge. I think so. I think he is. Hold on. Why is he sad? I wasn't paying attention. Oh! Those are some other very interesting pictures, but look! Okay, but look! Okay, but look! Sir? Is your son! He misses you. Question mark? That's all I was trying to do. No, your son is not dead. I can't leave. Your son's not dead. I'm gonna go tell your son. Gonna be like, yo, your dad's... That's a dead kid. Are we ready? Alright, so I'm gonna raid your house. Your shit's mine now. Thanks, bird. You're a good bird. Oh, look, and there's a tape here. Oh, it's a tape player. We'll give him the spooky music. And then... Travis understands. This is my house now. Oh! I am a bad person. Oh, whatever. Let's go tell his son that he's alive. And be like, yo, go out to the island, go see your daddy! And then it'll be perfect. And everything will be fine. We are a Scooby-Doo villain. I'm sorry to break it to you. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling Norse kids? I don't know. That's the incorrect one. I mean, I haven't heard any complaints from Bike Dad. Bike Dad's fine. Also, hey, I got you your album. I definitely didn't steal it off some dude. I know, we're best friends now. Bike Dad is... I mean, he is green. No, but we do have masks that we wear. We're totally a Scooby-Doo villain. He did love that hug. He gets very excited about the hugs. Yeah, your dad, yeah! Go see your dad! Oh, I guess we'll take you to your dad. Or maybe I'm your dad. I can be your dad now. Call me Daddy. Oh, hey, look! Your son's alive! It's nice to know you haven't changed the weird-ass music, either. Aww! Aww! That's me, damn daddy. Yeah. Give me the lever. Give. It's true. I don't want. I know. Haha! Everyone's happy now. Did we hug him? Did he get a hug from us? I don't know if that's the case, so we're gonna hug him again. Yeah, we gave him a hug. Alright. Okay. Can you imagine Dropsy as a parent, though? He'd be precious. Do such a good job. Probably. I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna. We're gonna hug everything. Everyone needs hugs. Everything needs hugs. Okay, so we're on a roll! We got this! Let's go back to the mines. So much fast traveling. All of the fast traveling. Okay, let's do this. Hell yeah! Got it! Same, Dropsy. So pleased. Mouse hole! Go, mouse, go! Go, mouse, go! Dog? Oh no! Oh, this is miserable. No, 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 no. Pop that open. Pop that open. Make your way out. I hear doggo. Okay. And now as the bird, we can go into the vent? No. No, we cannot. What is this? Nothing. There's another rat hole. I see it. I know that's the vent that I just broke, but I figured I could put the bird into that vent and then make my way to the other vent and then get into there and do the thing. Hold on, what was that? That's a face. Love that for us. I vented. I'm pretty sus. Nothing great. Why are we like this? Quick, I need somebody to do the sound. Please. Please. Okay. Alright. Listen here, bud. Mouse gets shot. It's fine. Don't worry. Can I unplug you? No, no, no. Where are you going? $113 Waluigi's are. I need to turn that sound up, but thank you, Allie. What am I supposed to do? Where does this go? That's a dead end. Also a dead end. So much Pong. Are these all dead ends? How the heck am I supposed to get... I need my dang dog! Bird, can you go in here? No. Can you... Ugh, you're just a little too big. I'm telling you, can I get you into the vent? I can, you just didn't want to do it the last time I told you to do it. Okay. I knew what I was doing. Okay, bird. Now we can get our butt in here. Can you hug it though, Dropsy? You kind of ruined it. Hug it. Good job, buddy. Can I swipe my ID card? No. Bird. Can you... Everyone's our buddy, let's be real. Excuse me. I got the achievement clownographer. Look at me go. Hold on, before we leave through that hole. I think that's how I gotta go. Okay. Back into the ground we go! Doggo, I hear you. Puppy! Hello! Does this mean... Is he... Where the soup... No, it's where Soup Boy is. I know where our dog is gone, don't worry. It's the Soup Buds. We gotta go back to the Soup Buds. That's why it was critical for dog. I understand now. We just did it too dang soon. He's not dead! Stop acting like I've killed the dog! He'll be fine. We're gonna go get him. It's not much longer till we got our dog back. Alright? Alright. We gotta go get our dog. It's dog time. No. Hear me out. Instead of burying him, let's just go pick him up. Let's just go get our dog back. Look at our dog! Hi, dog! Dog, 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 dog. Everything is right with the world now. Y'all over here, like, trying to memorialize our dog already. Dog's fine. We got him back. There are no problems here. We've got our dog. Right? But it's okay, because we can go back and pee on all of them now. It's pee time. It's pee time! Where did I click? I didn't mean to click. It's not ruined! It's fine! In fact, I think everything we've come across we've already peed on. Except maybe the robot back at the circus tent. But we can get that on our way back. Pee time too with a vengeance. I'm gonna pee extra hard on all the things. Don't you worry. Plus there was this hole that we gotta dig up. Let's go, dog! Get it, dog! Yeah! Yeah! Get it, dog! P2 cruise control? No! Why? Why have we done this? Samuel L. Jackson as Tom Cruise? I think you've done it bad. Oh, okay. Okay. I think that's all I can get in here for the time being. So... I guess we gotta go. Or you could just, like, not have Tom Cruise in it. Have you considered also just not putting Tom Cruise in it? Alright, let's go. Where? Here, we gotta go give the lady, the page that we got. We have 3 more that we gotta get. But until then, she ain't here! No, she is. She is here. Okay. I was about to be very upset. Ma'am, I have another page for you. Yeah. Hug? No, she's still upset. Okay. We're so sad. But we can go do the circus stuff now, and we can go pee on that robot because we got our dog back. Gotta pee on the robot first. Robot pee time. First and foremost. Go, dog, go! Just don't fall again. I can't pee on that robot. That's unfortunate. Alright, let's go, dog. Now we gotta go perform a trick for the dude, I think. I assume that's what we're doing here. Look, I got all my animals again. Got dog. Dog got. I gotta work with the aminals. Ah, hell yeah! Look at us go! Just gonna screenshot that, don't mind me. Ah, hell yeah! Thanks! Do what I can. Gotta go back home. And sleep. Come back in the morning. And then it'll be, in the morning it'll be super or something? It'll be super! It'll just be super. Dad's fine! Medicine fixed him! I'm a big boy now. You gotta talk to me? about the shed. Can we get into the shed now? Dad, what terrible murder ring have you hidden in here? Are you- wait, no, are we telling me that I am an alien? I did guess this earlier. What the fuck? Hi, I'm a clown alien. Aww. Hold on. I mean, essentially, yeah, that's like what just happened. Hey, by the way, you were adopted. Okay. Ah, yes! It all makes sense now. Alright, well, bye, Dad. Goodbye, Father. I'm sleeping on the bed this time! Yeah? Okay. Hold on a sec. I like how we just, like, roll out of bed. Hold on, I gotta take a picture over here, because... Don't mind me. Go back to sleep. Don't worry about it. Devo's just sprawled out, being cute. Cute sleepy boy. Surprisingly staying still. Also, look at all the new pictures! Those are the statues! That's the big chicken! There's our squirrel friend. There's the fridge. Here's the dude outside of the whatever? The club? Can I hug you? Can I put something in your mouth? That's the tree. There's the chicken man. There's the bouncer. The little girl and her flower. Who's this? That's the space guy. I don't know who that is. These are all so lovely. Who is this? Is this Wizard Man? It's terrifying is what it is. Is this Gun Buddy? I love these. I love them. Why are they all so good? Do I need to hug her? Or are they just not drawn with smiley faces? I think I gotta go hug them. Okay, hold on. And I don't have any new parts for the statue, so I can't do that. Friend! Yeah, it's time. Let's go. Where are my friends? Okay, I'll find them and then I'll come. I get it. I understand. I need to go find my friends, though. Dad? Okay, but where are my friends? But where are my friends? I just got them back! Don't take them away from me! Squirrel! Where are they? Also, can I put the coin in with the fish? No, fish doesn't want that. Okay, but seriously, where did my friends go? Do they show up on the map? Of course they don't. Are they at the cemetery? I don't like this. Can I have a hug? Okay. Yeah, the flyers are making me upset. I've done nothing wrong. I'm not a monster. Please. Also, can I not fast travel right now? I can't. That's a problem. Why are there so many flyers? Why would someone do this? No! I know who you're looking for. It was you. You put up the flyers, didn't you? For shame. I mean, it's true. I'm not a narc. Why? I don't like this. Are they gonna try and, like, kill me or something? They're gonna, like, try and kill me, but I'm not gonna know because I can't read. Where are my aminals? That's not my dog. That's not my bird. And that's definitely not my mouse. Mouse, what's happened to you? Oh no, Dropsy, don't cry! Okay, maybe these are my aminals, actually. Actually. Okay. I hate this. I hate this. Did the man just shoot my dog? Got the achievement. This isn't even my final form. Oh. Don't arrest me! Oh, my animals are wreaking havoc. Oh, fuck. This dude's still just over here. No, I don't want to go there just yet. Hold on. These poor doggos! Okay, where's this go? Nowhere. I feel like we're kind of getting to end game, sort of. Don't be scared of me. They've been looking for me. Also, more statue parts. I like... Oh! That's where that went. Excuse me while I just walk by. Oh no! I gotta go get my dang animals. They're causing problems for people. I hope I've done it good by, like, helping everyone, you know? Okay, they're telling me where he went. I'm here to, yeah. I'm just listening in on their conversations. Eve's Dropsy. Thank you, friend. Can I hug you? No, I'm not allowed to hug right now. It was all about the orders. This is me redeeming myself for the missing the hand joke earlier, so you know. You inspired me, though. Okay, let's... Hydrate reminder from Emmy. I can do that. And a stretch. Alright. Yep, kitty bean glass. I need to wash my other ones. This is the only one I have available to me at the moment. They're good glasses, though. Squirrel! I just want to hug. Did you crash your dang car into my shed? No, they pulled out the little baby bed. Okay. I mean, not that that makes it any better. It's not. It's not any better, really. But leave my house alone? I'm missing a piece, aren't I? Fuck. My dad's in trouble. He's in danger. Bike Dad's not here. Yeah, Bike Dad. Ouch. Bike Dad? Bike Dad's not here? And he kept, like, motioning that they went off to the fields, right? Still can't fast travel. So then... I need to get to the streets. Was that not... There should be a way to get there directly from the tent, right? Yeah, it's trippy. There it is. Okay, I found it. I really like the art from this game. It's wacky. Alright, I guess we'll go this way. That's the wrong one. I have nothing for you, buddy. I'm sorry. I am concerned. I just want Bike Dad to be okay. Bike Dad, be okay. Alright, well, into the portal we go! It's bright. It's very bright. You are too dang bright! Bike Dad? I don't want to, but I think it might be my only option. Oh, Jesus. Don't shoot me! No! You absolute fucking monster. I mean, we're gonna come back. We have to come back. It doesn't, I mean, that doesn't change the fact that he fucking shot me. Oh, this has been a wild ride. Okay. I just wanted to give him a hug! But no! He had to shoot me and said, oh, aminos! Bike Dad! I clearly have not learned my lesson as I immediately just start hugging everyone. My dad! That's a very long hug. Did the game freeze? Did it freeze? No. Okay. We got Bike Dad and Space Mom. Everything's fine now. I got the achievement, the longest hug. Okay, hang on a second. Well, I guess that's Dropsy. Dropsy animation by Acacia Lawson! And Acacia would have a hand in this game. That was a fucking trip. I can share. I did see Octagrape in there too. Honestly though, it is typical Acacia behavior. Classic Acacia move. Right, I will let this Acacia like live simply because look at this masterpiece that they had a hand in. Alright, well that was a wild fucking trip. Clearly we didn't do everything, and I think that's fine. I just want to make sure that everyone in town knows that I'm nice, that's all. But like, yeah, alright. I did kind of see the whole Dropsy's an alien coming from a mile away. Didn't change how wild the end was, though. Well, geez. These are all the backers. Can we skip? No? Okay. Well, shit. What are we supposed to do now? We got 45 minutes left. And I don't know if I have, I want to say I have Control downloaded. We could technically start that. I'm gonna let this play out. I'm gonna take a very, very short break, and then we'll figure out what to do. Oh, JK, it's ending. We'll still take a break. It was a good game. I enjoyed that. It was not nearly as frustrating as it had been made out to be. There were definitely a couple of points that were a little difficult, in how, like, out there the solutions were, and obviously, like, we didn't solve everything. But that was cute. It was fun. I really enjoyed that. Would recommend, I guess. And this is just back to the very beginning. All right. So yeah, that was Dropsy. It was a good game. Good game, guys.